to be with you. You know, I think this is the first year since we have owned the region in 2005 that I have not been at in person with the region, and I have been missing that, but I won't complain because I know that everybody's missing something. We all are wanting to get out and interact. So I look forward to that day. You're very important to me, and I'm very excited to bring this session to you. It's about luxury, and I love that topic. You know, it's one of my favorites, and I've sort of taken over that little role to create something in the Southeast region, and we have made great progress. We have increased our presence in the luxury market, and we've certainly increased our listing price, and that was needed. So hopefully I can share some of the things with you that works. How's everybody doing? Give me a like wave.
Woo!
Good. Okay. All right. So let's get to our slide presentation. This is Taylor Wood, my right hand Live Luxury coordinator, and she has created this PowerPoint for me to use with you today. And she will be talking to you about the international part of it. So I'll take the first part and she'll take that international part, and then I'll come back in at the end. Okay. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. So, you know, when you get into luxury, you really want to increase your business, increase your bottom line, and increase your presence. So there is a right way, and that will get you there more quickly, I believe. And those are the things that we're going to share. Why am I interested in this luxury business? You know, I just have always thought luxury, and and I ran a luxury boutique here in Atlanta for as a managing broker for several years, and got to experience a lot of the values that that both agents and consumers want. So that's where I come from in this. There is a special way to identify with the luxury world. So I will say this to you. If you have a piece of paper in front of you, I want you to write real big, valid, VALID. Okay. So if you got that written, I want to say to you, if you say you are luxury, then be luxury, be valid. Don't have people shocked that you are classified in luxury because of your marketing, because of your uh, presence, the appearance, the materials that you use, and the way that you create experiences for them. So just be valid. If you're going to be in luxury, please, you know, say nobody's going to be shocked when they find out that I'm in luxury. So is everybody okay with that? Okay, Taylor. Taylor's operating this for me. What does that mean?
Whoa.
What is that? One of the things it will come as a surprise is I don't claim to be technologically savvy. I'm not valid. Okay. So that's why I have her with me here. Here's a quote from a book that I used one time in a regional event here. And it's what got you here won't get you there. And that's just a support for the market is changing, the world is changing. So what you did yesterday will not be required, what's required of you in the luxury world tomorrow. So let's kind of keep what you're doing that is good, and let's reinvent some things for you so that you won't be doing the very same things that you've done all those years. But it's time for us to kind of update and change. You know, I love that story that everybody should reinvent themselves every 5 years. I used to teach launch for Keller Williams, and I taught that. It was in the launch manual. A market center uh, should reinvent themselves every 5 years. And I take that seriously. I think that is true because the part of the environment that you live in is your market center and you operate in. And if it doesn't support your luxury business, then that's, it's outdated and it won't get you there. You won't be impressing very many of your affluent clients. So that's what got you here won't get you there. So if you're going to pursue,
Let me
yeah,
scoot them out of the way. Right.
okay, if you are going to pursue luxury, then here's just a list of things that I think are valuable to you. Expand your career. If you're pursuing luxury, you should be expanding your sphere. You may have been in a different price point, but you need to expand that. We're going to talk in depth about all of these. You need to understand that the affluent people think a little bit different from regular people. There's a cute little fun book called The Rich Are Different, and it's kind of a little fun poke at it, but the rich are different in a lot of ways. By and large, we have certainly pockets of exceptions, there's no question. Increase your price point. So we're going to talk about how you will do that, and raising your service level. The same service level that you have given, if you haven't been in the luxury part, is going to have to change a little bit because affluent people are used to having good service. They are used to going into a restaurant and someone knows their name and welcome back, thank you, your table is ready, and it just is part of it. You have to you have to do certain things to increase your price point to satisfy the consumer level and to give them the service they want. The next one says you have to customize. You should be customizing your marketing for the affluent. They don't want to be treated like everyone else. They don't want to get the same materials that everyone else gets. They want to get special and they want it to be customized for them. Guess what? We're going to realize before this is over, you are not the story. When you deal with affluent, you are not the story. They are not impressed by um, over marketing. They're not impressed. Less is more, I think, quite frankly. Pictures on your signs are out, really, in my opinion, because they want a classy, more sophisticated look out there. So, and it's gonna have to be customized to them. Then I believe you need to practice consistency. So I'm going to suggest, because you all are from different offices, I'm going to suggest that you get together and decide on a consistent look for you all, and that it is simple and classy and reeks of luxury, and that you are consistent with that, because they cannot recognize you with if you keep different cutesy things coming their ways. Minimizing your ego. That's kind of hard, isn't it? We all have one. So we'll talk in depth about that. So we're ready to move on to the next one. So let's talk about in depth, expand your sphere and understanding the affluent. Both important things. Jack Cotton is a luxury expert out of Cape Cod. Actually, Jack Cotton had his own company for years. It was called 100% Cotton. And I did a lot of programs with him. I brought him to Florida a lot to do programs, and we did them together, and he did some by himself. But he has written a lot of books, and some things haven't changed um, that he promotes. And this is a great statement. High net worth people like to deal with people they know are known by someone they know. So who do you know that can introduce you to high net worth people? How do you get there? What can you do to put yourself in the ballpark there? I'm going to give you a quick little story, personal story. Some of you know my husband, Glenn. He's adorable. And he was a marketing genius when he was in the uh, building business in Atlanta. He did renovations, and he completely changed his strategy to approaching. He decided it was easier to work for high net worth people than to just take potluck. So he completely changed everything that he did, and he had a portfolio done that was very professional. But the other thing that he did, um, going back to this statement, high net worth people like to deal with people they know or are known by someone they know. He actually marketed to, he was in the renovation, high end renovation. He actually marketed to the architects who dealt in the Buckhead area in Atlanta, and people would buy expensive homes and then do extensive renovations. So they used an architect and they used decorators. So one of the things he did is he got the names of all the staff people in the high end architectural firms, and he invited them to happy hour. Now, these are the workers. And he just took a restaurant and had a happy hour for them, paid attention to them, learned who they were. Do you think that helped him? I'm here to tell you it did. It absolutely did, because these were people who serve and work with high net worth architects. And so he got right into that market, and that was one of the ways that he did it. He remembered them at holiday time with a gift or a turkey or something like that. And it just, their bosses sometimes listen to them when they say, that Glenn Evans is the nicest guy. I will just tell you that's one way that he got in connected to high net worth people. So it's just a thought. Here are his books, Jack Cotton. He also said affluent consumers typically have a very strong self-image. Now we know that. And they avoid entering into any relationships or any um, joint ventures with anything that would harm their self-image. They like to keep it. Um, they like to keep their image in the luxury realm, and who they choose is very important. And I'll be really, really honest with you. That's the thing we fight when people do Sotheby's, and I think in your market is Saunders, and they're just they identify with the image of that company, and that's where we have to step up and make our image one that would enhance them, and also we would do great experiences. People really they pay for experiences. It's really amazing. So let's just keep that in mind, that they have a very strong self-image. Don't show up hassled, frazzled, and not having your presentation all together. And and not knowing their market. Don't show up unprepared if you're dealing with these people. I think you still get lots of good tips from Jack Cotton. I'm actually on his, he sends me an email on a luxury tip about 3 or 4 times a week. So, there are others who've lived before us, and he is definitely one. And also, when I say the affluent are different, well, here's some books I recommend: Secrets of the Millionaire Mind and Millionaires and the Middle Class. So, why don't you all organize as a group and have book studies and take some of these luxury books, and there are new ones out also, but have that be your book study. And because remember, you all need to come together, you need to have consistency, you need to create a synergy around the luxury effort in your area. And you can do that even though you're in different areas. You can do that. You can set up Zooms, and you can have book studies, and you can discuss what's good, what you're doing next. So these are books I recommend here. All right. Trends. Let's talk about trends of the affluent consumer. Number one, they want things that are created especially for them. That's what we mean by customized marketing. They do not want a generic marketing program that goes to everybody. You have to think some luxury people are very upfront out there and like big things. Some do not. Some want it just simple and keep our name out of it. And we have a celebrity listing right now. It's Jeff Foxworthy's. And he has been so kind to his agent. He said, please use my celebrity to market this. So, but not everybody feels that way, because we have had others who did not want to use that. But he is one that says, just do what you want to. So we planned just a great little open house. And our caterer is cornbread and caviar. And that's kind of our theme, because he has he is kind of down home, cornbread. And then there's an element, he lives in a beautiful home. So think about that. Next one is there's a trend in the luxury world that they are shifting away from piling up possessions, and they really are paying for and buying experiences. So how can you make their transaction and your relationship with them, how can you make it be an experience that they will treasure and that they will recommend you for because they had such a personalized, customized experience? I look at things like this. Actually, in the early days of my career, which, by the way, my career in real estate was 42 years or something thereabout. But in the early days, I subscribed to Sports Illustrated because I was in a market where there's a lot of college graduates there, and everybody was a huge sports fan. And I subscribed to Sports Illustrated just because I needed to be abreast of the sports world, what was going on, so I could talk to them about it. Today, they make so many things from the different colleges, and just sending an article that you read in a paper to them and say, hey, your school is looking good on this. That's a golden way. And also, may I say that you cannot pay too much attention to people's pets. You just, that's an experience. You cannot pay too much attention to their pets. And I'll give you an example of that. My family was on vacation in Maine one year, and coming back, our plane got delayed. Now we had the same driver that we got, and he was with a limo service here, but we always got him. And so we got to be friends and got to know him. And so my husband called him from the airport and said, ask him, he said, James, could you call the kennel and tell them that our plane is going to be delayed, and would they mind just staying over a little bit so we can pick Charlie up? And so when we got to the airport and James met us, he had Charlie in the car with him. We were so relieved because we were like, we're going to have to leave him in the kennel another night. We're not happy about that, but he took care of that. He went down there, he got Charlie, he had him sitting up in the window when we got there. So that's kind of one of those, that's an experience that you pay for. You tip really well when that certainly happens to you. At least we do. So we want to encourage behavior we want repeated. 40% of the affluent people, the consumers, money is from investments. In other words, they're not waiting for a payday the 1st and 15th. It's from investments that they have made through the years, and so they don't sweat the money as much there. The wealthy prosper despite dips in the market. I think we've seen that, honestly, with what's gone on with the pandemic. We've had great months. I mean, people are still buying luxury homes. In fact, maybe more than ever. And resort homes. And that's where you come in. People are buying second homes. They want to get away from the major cities, and particularly in the Northeast, that are having such turmoil, such crime rates, and and they want to, and everything shut down the pandemic, so they want to get to an area where they can escape. And so just know that they are still continuing to prosper. A continuation of the trends about consumers is loans are a part of their life. Even though they have money, they are not afraid to borrow money because, quite honestly, that's just a way of life for them, and they have a high tolerance for risk. Typically, they like to seize on a bargain or an opportunity when they confront it. They are tied to the internet. So that is why, and Keller Williams is really now pursuing a great technology program, and it has invested a lot of money on that. So many people are finding their homes. I'll tell you another just kind of interesting story like that. I was going down to the Golden Isles on the coast of Florida to work with a luxury referral group that we have down there, because there's a lot of movement from Atlanta to Sea Island and St. Simons and that market. And so I was going down to work with a referral network there. And my husband said, Glenn said, I haven't been down there in years. I think I'll go down with you. I said, okay, that sounds wonderful. And then one day he came in, he slipped in the chair next to me and he said, hey, I might have to get you to call and get me a psychiatric appointment. And I said, well, I'll be happy to do that, but I've never known you to admit you need help. So I said, what's going on? And he said, I have been looking at homes to buy on Sea Island before we go down there. So I had an agent lined up who was going to show me the market there so I could, speak intelligently about it. And so I just called him and said, looks like we might be, looking for a personal home. And so Glenn had been on the internet, he had looked, and, we bought the house that he found on the internet, and he could not wait to get there to see it. And the minute we walked in, that was it. So that we bought us a getaway from uh, the condo living in busy Buckhead, and we go back and forth now, spend some time there. By the way, that's real close to Jacksonville. So, hey, I think you all are in Jacksonville. Then the next point trend is it has multicultural opportunities. You in Florida, more than any other state, have multicultural opportunities. And so when we talk about customizing your presentations and your relationships with them, you have to know something about the culture of the people who are from other countries as you work with them. And so I'm going to show you, I've used this before and I still recommend it. They're great books, but I'll talk to you about those in depth. And their professional financial planners are significant to the wealthy. So personal financial managers are players are significant to the wealthy. So how is that a category that you need to get into a relationship with? People's personal financial managers, planners. I would suggest we just did this. We're working with high level professional teams, and we are having them teach us what kind of opportunities are out there, different ways to serve the wealthy clients. And actually that came to us from one of our luxury agents, because she met with them and they taught her some tips that were effective to have something to offer in the financial world. So we've had them speak to us, and we're going to have them at a retreat we're having because they had valuable information. So now we're going to talk about increase your price point and raise your service level. So we all want to be in a price point, in a higher price point. Well, one of the things I can tell you is that people of high net worth people want to be sure you know that market. Remember, they have a high level of self-esteem involved in who they work with, the company they work with, and they want to know, they're usually very successful business people. So they want to know what the stats say in the area. What are the statistics? How can they make decisions that are fact-based rather than emotion-based? And so you have to be, I think, a provider of information. And we're going to show you our new stats. We redid them this year, and boy, we have got lots of great stuff. So Taylor's going to scroll through that for you. This is our cover of our stats that we send out on. We can either print them out or we send them out.
So we did these with a local marketing group in Atlanta, and we had them redesign basically everything about our stats. We wanted to make sure that we had a luxury look and feel. And so they created a flip book for us. So this is a customized website that we can send out to all of our members, and then they can either customize it to their liking, or they can keep it the way that it is currently. So they have the opportunity to add a bio page or a little picture about themselves. So it can look a little bit more customized to their client.
Let me say that this is what I mean when I say you have to create camaraderie in your group. That you come together and you help each other. I'll repeat that again. So we wanted to introduce them to what our group is, and so we wrote just this introductory piece that goes in it, but then they can also personalize it.
Mhm.
So go ahead.
So we have each of the Metro Atlanta areas listed in our area map. And as you can see, I'm rolling over them here and they're highlighting. So if I wanted to click on, let's say Brookhaven or Atlanta or Buckhead, I could click on that in the map, or I can click on the name in our area map and it'll take me directly to that section of our flip book. And then we focus primarily on our luxury market here, which is 750 and above. So we have each market kind of broken down. So we've got our 750 to 999 here, 1 million to 1.49. Then on the next page we have.
Well, show them what that says.
Yeah. So the next page we've got 1.5 to 1.9, and then all the way up to 2 million here. We have everything broken down by total homes for sale, the total homes sold, median days on market, and the month's supply, and whether or not those items have gone down since the last quarter. So this just kind of breaks everything down based on the area. And we just wanted to make sure that it had as consistent a luxury look as possible. So each section looks like it is absolutely the most luxurious thing you could ever want in a stat book.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. So just a little bit about our stats there. We won't bore you with too many details and the minutia.
But it gives them how many homes have sold, how many are on the market, or they up and down or down in their price points, etc. So we think that luxury people want to be informed, but they want to be informed in a very quality way. And we're really proud of these stats because, we didn't have, I think ours were good before, but they were too much. We tried to simplify it so that, they'd have a look and then we could fill in the details as you go in for your listing appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That we're proud of that. I hope you like that.
Yeah. Okay. So those are just a little bit about our stats there.
So I would ask you just for a little bit of feedback. How does that appeal to you all?
I love the presentation. I love that it's digital because like you said, everyone's online. So, for our team, we have a digital listing consultation. We can text or email. Same thing with our pre-list, but to have the entire area to come together collectively, I would love to do that in Sarasota for sure. Good.
Well, it took us a long time to get the right person to do it for us, but we finally did. So we're excited about it. And okay, they get that quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about raising your service level. Gifts. Affluent people can buy what they want. It's the simple things that count. So quit racking your brain about, what you're going to give someone who buys a $3 million house. In fact, they may not, your taste may not be theirs if you try and give them something for the house, etc. So I would just say, keep it simple. And I would also say, use local products because I think people enjoy things that come from there and that might be of the simplest format, but it's something that they like. You've heard Brady and Sandal, and he talks about small gifts that are strategically planned at certain times in the sales process. Just surprise them with gifts. I'm not so fond of, and this is not being critical, but I'm not so fond of kind of catchy things that say, I'll have your house sold, in a nanosecond or whatever, because I don't think you can promise that. I think you can promise that you will be working very hard to have their house sell, and here's what I'm going to do, and just tell them, and then strategically send them a gift along. People sometimes like books, and they're books that you can give to them. Actually, I think The One Thing is a great book to give to people. Um, I don't know of anyone who's read that who didn't get some value out of that. But then there are others, of course. Um, people are always giving us like books on our football team that we pull for, and um, somebody will write a book on the history of the school and that sort of stuff. And we all went to different schools, so graduated from different colleges. So we have lots of that stuff going on. And number 3, act before they ask. So what I mean by this is be very in tuned to what they might appreciate at certain points. At certain points in the transaction, things may get a little rough. Then act and do something before they have to ask or throw their hands up, or maybe send them a nice to a nice dinner in a nice restaurant, and send it to them and say, hopefully this will help make this an easier process for you. You can get away from the stress of the transaction. That's just a thoughtful thing to do. Think of everything. The more you know about affluent people, the more you can surprise them and treat them with things that are appropriate to them in customizing it. So the more you know about them, like you have golfers, and the more you know about them, the more you can surprise them with, golf, something in golf, or maybe they like music, certain kinds of music, then maybe you can surprise them with something like that. Maybe they are really interested in resort getaways for the weekend, and I would suggest that you do that. Give them locations in Florida where they can getaway weekends, and describe resorts. Someone sent me. I just had a birthday, and one of our luxury agents gave me this. It's very cool for me. She did a professional. I keep talking like they can see me moving my hands. I'm sorry. She did a professional brochure on, during the pandemic, here are great television shows and series you might enjoy. I can't tell you how many times someone will say to me, have you watched the series thus and so? And I said, no. And they tell me about it. And I think, oh, good, I'm going to do that. And by the time I get home, I've forgotten which one it was. So, I pull that. She sent that to me along with a popcorn box and a bag of popcorn that you can put in the microwave. I thought that was very, very, very clever. And I appreciated that. And now I have my list of series that and other shows that I need to watch, or that I've said I wanted to watch. So I'm really excited about that. Now, is that simple? Did that cost a lot? No, it did not. Did that ring my bell? Yes, it did, because I have all of these shows now that I need to get in tune with. So good. All right. So customizing marketing and practicing consistency. I want to you remember John Maxwell's quote, you are who you attract. So I would say to you, look around at your client base right now. And if you're not attracting luxury clients, then you have to figure out why. and you have to raise your level of service. You have to raise your emphasis on pricing. You are a consultant. You are a luxury consultant. You give them information and they make the decisions, but you don't leave it up to them to gather all the information and the things that they need to know. Uh, have your little brochure printed up with all the things to do in the area of the house that they've bought, and connect them with, connect them. Oh, here's the request. Sometimes I've done several group moves, and people do not want to leave their hairdressers. People do not want to leave their Bible studies. Find out what it is they don't want to leave and replace it, and find a way to replace it. That will take you absolutely miles. I did a group move with 3M Corporation several years ago, coordinated it, went up to St. Paul and interviewed all of their employees. There were 95 of them, and found out that I had a whole list of things that they were going to miss when they left St. Paul, Minneapolis area. Well, that's changed. There's a lot of reasons they leave now, but at any rate, at that time, it was really, these were upper echelon people in this division. So we found a way to connect the kids. We had the kids come into a meeting, and we found out what the kids were anxious about. And we actually did a satellite and had kids from Atlanta, different ages, and they could ask questions of and show pictures of kids at school and how they were dressed, and. So that's a little over and above, but you know what? It worked. We sold every single one of those families a house and a property. And those are the things they were going to miss, quite simply that. So we provided that. Now in the marketing, we've just put together some brochures, just samples of brochures that we have done, because I believe consistency in luxury is very much the key. I love our company. Trust me, it has been so good to me, and I hope I've been good for it. But one of the things that got us so famous and so big, also created a wall that we had to penetrate. And we gave agents the right to have whatever they wanted, and colors and pictures and blah, blah, blah. And everybody had a different look. There's no consistency, even in signage. So I think if you are going to be effective in the luxury world, you kind of need to have your sign so that people recognize you. And I know you've probably heard about, what Keller Williams is doing at International. So you may have to create your own little, using their stuff. If you choose to do that, you may have to create your own look and stay within the guidelines there. But I just believe consistency. Now, some may call that old school, but I don't call it old school, because I have a lot of affluent customers, clients in my past, and interact with a lot of them. And I know when we first came to Atlanta and tried to be in the luxury world, our feedback was like, we hate red signs. They don't belong in front of a luxury property. So we created the black sign, and and all tried to use the same one. And we minimized teams and on the sign. We kept our signs simple. So you'll have a chance to do that under the new policies that will come out. I'm particularly fond of these large postcards because they are so usable. You can put them in the house like a flyer. The front of the card has great pictures and the back is customized for you in a specific way. And I would just get a nice small acrylic stand and put them in the house and people can take them. And it's not really like a big flyer or a big brochure that they have to take around. And that's real expensive to put in there. So this is just my personal preference. I really like this. So take advantage of it if you'd like to, and forget it if you don't. Here's our social media post, including customization and sending them. What does that mean, Taylor?
So the Churchwell Group actually put together all of this material for us. So the brochures, the postcards, and the social media posts. So they actually will help customize all of these materials for the agents if they want to work with the Churchwell Group to get a little bit more of a personalized feel to this material. So with the social media posts specifically, you can add in all the different information about either a just listed home or an open house. And the Churchwell Group will help you with this customization. And then they'll not only help you with that, but they'll also post it for you without you having to do anything. So it's really kind of nice because you don't have to worry about doing anything on your own, and you don't have to worry about taking a ton of time to spend on.
But you have to pay
like
them to do it.
Mm-hmm. So all of this, these materials, if you want to customize it, it is a small fee with the Churchwell Group, but we do have all of this available to our group through a Dropbox. So if they wanted to do it themselves, customize it on their own time, or if they wanted a professional company to do so, we give them that option as well. So just a little bit of both.
Now we are doing, we have a contract with another company to do all of our posts and create a look for our Facebook and Instagram. So that's our way to keep it, to keep it consistent, to have a consistent look and a luxury look. I know that sometimes people on their own don't have a feel for that. The one thing that Taylor and I did is, I wasn't happy with the pictures of luxury properties that were available for a while back. So we purchased, we purchased beautiful luxury photographs, and we put them in our Dropbox for people to download and use, because so many, your look in Florida is totally different from our look in Atlanta, probably in the housing world. So you need to make it appropriate for your area so that, it represents your area very well. Okay. This is for the international. These are books, and I've used these for a very long time, but they are very, very good books. If you are going to work with somebody from a certain company, this generic Kiss, Bow, and Shake Hands is a good one. These others are just tips on the affluent. I suggest that you all take that and have a little book club, and you'll get some good ideas from that. And then here's the Kiss, Bow, and Shake Hands from the different countries. Asia, Latin America, Europe, and then the generic one that has 60 countries. If you're working with someone from the 60 countries, it is just good because, here's my quote: if at first you don't offend, you have to customize here. You actually do. You have to know what is offensive to them and avoid that. You have to know some of the culture of their country so that you can customize and not offend them. So.
So here we have the top markets for international traffic, and Florida is actually, they have at least 6 different really large markets for international buyers. And so we've got Miami, Fort Lauderdale area as number 1, and we've got Orlando, Kissimmee, and Sanford as number 7. We've got Naples and Marco Island as 8, Fort Myers as number 10, Tampa and Clearwater is number 12 on this list. We've got Sarasota and Bradenton as number 16. So you see, we've just got a lot of traffic for international buyers within the Florida area itself. So at least 6 of the top 20 are in that top market.
Can you keep
Mhm.
talking?
Yeah. So that would just be something that I would really focus on if I were trying to get into the luxury market, would just be to look at what's going on with not only your residential buyers in this country, but also look to see where your international buyers are looking to as well. And I just got this information from the National Association of Realtors. So it's public knowledge and it's really easy to find out. And, you know, it's all about just doing your research and knowing your market. The next one we have here is our foreign buyer highlights. And as you can see in our top 5 destinations, Florida is number 1, coming in at 22%. So it's just, like I said, again, something that you really want to research and kind of dive into to see where your home state is falling, because this is where the top foreign buyers are coming into the country, and they're looking to buy either a first-time home or a residential property. Sometimes they're looking for commercial property, but the majority of the buyers are looking for a permanent residence within Florida. So it's just something that we like to encourage, especially our agents in our group, is just to make sure that you know your market and you know what's going on, not only in your home state, but just kind of foreign and international as well. So Kay is going to come right back. She's coming right back in. We have a few more slides and then we'll be wrapping up and asking for questions.
Okay.
Here we go. Here we've got our 2021 housing forecast. And as you can see, home prices are going to hit new heights with 7.7% or a 5.7% increase. We're going to have home sales going up by about 7%, and mortgage rates are going to move up to about 3.4%. And again, like I said, doing your research, the biggest market that you're going to encounter are going to be millennials. So you just want to make sure that you're understanding what the millennial market is looking for, and kind of tailoring your marketing, tailoring your service level to that group. So
All right.
I would just say, just to make sure to do your research,
Absolutely.
understand who you're working with.
Absolutely. Okay. Minimizing your ego. Well, it's not about you. Here's the deal. Leslie Akers, I remember hearing Leslie say, the sign in the yard of a luxury listing is about the seller. It is not about you. It is, your name is there so they can call you, but it should be about the seller. It should be simple, and it should be easy to read. And I think you're going to have a new sign coming out from International, so you can capitalize on that. But also, I want to say that luxury is a team effort. That's why you have the companies that are so successful in luxury, because they have that image. They have a team. We have been individualized in all of our practice. We're like, who can speak the loudest? Who can, show up the most? And when you deal with luxury, that's a little bit of a turnoff to people. Create camaraderie in your group. You have to care about each other. We have 71 members, and there's such camaraderie. I mean, it's just pretty amazing. We have fun when we get together, and they help each other, because when someone else has success in the luxury world, that just makes it easier for you because they smooth the way. Demonstrates synergy. Where's the synergy in the group? No one wants to work with a flat, laid back, you know, not very energetic person. And be helpful to each other, have great camaraderie in it. And you know what, I want to say to you, there's no place for sexiness in your present ads and the way you look. Sexiness is out. Simplicity and classic and not, I mean current, I don't mean old timey stuff. You got to be current, definitely. But remember, it's not about you. It's not about your cleavage. It's not about that kind of stuff. It's just really a classic look and a classy look. So do you have any questions? I think we're done here, aren't we?
I don't see any questions in the chat. Does anyone have questions for Kay before we jump off? Or you can take yourself off mute by pushing your space bar. Give it a few minutes. Megan just says, thank you very much. Lots of thank yous, great reminders.
Okay.
Thank you for the information is basically what everyone's saying. So thank you, Kay. We really appreciate it.
Okay.
Lots of good information. I have a lot of notes. Definitely going to start a book club in our area. That's a great takeaway. That was probably my biggest aha. I think that'll help create some synergy and for us to all collectively work together and collaborate and hopefully go get more market share and have a consistent message with our branding and marketing.
Yeah, I just believe that's the key. And you're going to have some, I think you're going to have some marketing to select from international too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So that's exciting.
Yep. Speaking of that, we have a call for our region or for KWI luxury members, December 17th at 3:30. So if anyone needs the link, just reach out to myself or Ashley. There was an email that was sent out, but just a reminder, it's December 17th at 3:30 with some announcements.
Yep. We have that too. So we'll go with that.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Taylor and Kay. Have a wonderful day. We really appreciate all the valuable information, and it's always a pleasure having you speak.
Thank you. And I miss being with y'all in person.
Same here.
Y'all have
hopefully soon.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here today. Thank you, Kay, Taylor, Brandy. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ashley.
Bye.
Ashley is always on it, isn't she?
Oh, she's amazing.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah,
Be
happy
safe
holidays.
out there.
Well, too.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Bye-bye.